Straight up, the most powerful influence capitalism has had on my life is the dopamine hit I get from buying something. It is so dangerous. And if it's not a dopamine hit, it's like the way that my brain associates relief from feeling anxiety and depression with buying something. Like if I buy something, I will immediately relieve my anxiety. Do you know how insane that is? Like people do yoga, people take drugs, people do all these things to relieve themselves from like the most difficult emotions. But then there's a group of human beings that I belong to that in order to relieve ourselves from difficult emotions we can't face, we purchase things. Like yesterday, perfect example, I was on my way to a date and I was like feeling a little nervous, obviously in the Uber, and I just couldn't cope with this feeling of nervousness, like even though I knew it was so irrational. So what did I do? I whipped out my phone and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna see like what's on Aritzia, and I bought something. And I knew I wasn't just gonna window shop at Aritzia. I knew that in that moment, because I was feeling anxious, I was gonna buy something at Aritzia to make myself feel better. And did I do that? Yes. And did it make me feel better? Absolutely 1000%. But I'm just thinking about this in the sense of like the middle class today, which I belong to, has less disposable income than at any point, I think, in the last like 40 years, less money to be spending on stupid shit like anxiety shopping. And I know that. And I know how much budgeting I have to do. I know I have to pay rent for this place. Like I know I have to buy furniture. I know I have no like money to spend on clothes. Yet in that moment, the trigger of anxiety or like literally depression sometimes, and the only way I know to alleviate it is through spending money that I shouldn't be spending. Like, God, what a fucking win for you, capitalism. Like, what a fucking win. The way you've just got us brainwashed to such an extreme degree is like, I'm marveling at it. Like, besides criticizing myself, like, I'm just sitting here going like, wow, like, we're not just fucked, like, we're like so deeply fucked that we don't even realize half the time how bad it is.